welcome back to my channel. I thought it was high time for another makeup tutorial, and in today's video I am showing you and demoing this guide by Sleek Makeup, which is their new Del Mar Vol.II palette. It's a limited edition palette, and it is inspired by Ibiza. So you can see there it's just really lovely, sunny, bright, kind of playful colours, with a few nudes thrown in, which is definitely handy. If you know the Sleek palettes or have any of the Sleek palettes at all, you will know what to expect when it comes to the actual quality of these eyeshadows. They're really lovely. The more shimmery ones are really buttery and soft, and they just go on this. They go on so strongly on the lids. A few of the more matte ones can have a little bit more powdery fallout, but they still go on the eyes beautifully. So as long as you just do your eyes first and then finish off your skin afterwards, you'll have no bother. Now this is retailing for £7.99 in the UK, which means it'll probably be like €1 or so more here in Ireland, maybe around £9.99. But really nice palette anyhow, and perfect for coming into the warmer weather. I also popped this on my face today, which is one of the bronze blocks by Sleek Makeup in light. So this comes with, of course, 4 different colours. This one here is quite deep, so I actually just avoided it and used these first 3 mainly on the cheeks. But it's still a really nice small wee block cheek powder. Handy for if you're out and about, because you could definitely use this on your eyes as well. You could use those browns to contour the eyes. So lovely little palette. I'm not too sure of the price of that, but you can definitely check it out on the website, and I'll leave the links to that below. So yeah, this is the palette, which is out on the 25th, which is tomorrow. Actually today as you're watching it, so it's out today, which is handy. I didn't even realise that. So that's pretty much it. Just keep watching if you want to see how it's done. I'll leave more pictures on the blog as per usual, though sometimes give it a day or two before that's updated, and there will be a full list of products below this video if you want to recap on what I used. So I started off by spritzing a vitamin infused water spray by Urban Decay onto my face just to refresh my skin before going in with the rest of the products. And then I applied a moisturising primer with the double-ended foundation brush by Blank Canvas Cosmetics, and applied this all over my face because my skin is quite dry at the moment. I applied my foundation with a flat buffer brush in a mixture of stippling and buffing motions to get the best coverage from the foundation. And as usual, I avoided the eye area with the foundation, instead leaving this for a colour correcting concealer specifically for the eye area, and applied a very pale peach colour around the darkest parts of my eye with the small side of the double-ended foundation brush, again by Blank Canvas, and then flipping the brush around to the bigger end to blend it all out and in with the rest of the skin. Then I applied a little bit of the yellow shade from the Colour Correcting Duo, which is by MAC, to my brow bone, which tends to get a little bit red, particularly from tweezing. I just patted this in with my fingers. Then as an eyeshadow base, I went with one of the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencils in Yoghurt, which is such a handy and quick product just to throw on the eye, and it's a gorgeous kind of shimmery champagne colour. You can just pop this on straight from the bullet and then use a brush to lightly blend it out. This is another double-sided brush from Blank Canvas, the E40 and the E41, and I used the blending side, which is the E41 side, to lightly buff around the edge of the Jumbo Eye Pencil. And I ran the same brush underneath my lower lash line, just applying whatever was left on the brush underneath there so that there wasn't too much product, but there'd be a tiny bit there for whatever eyeshadow I applied to stick to. Then using the other side of that same double-ended brush, which is the E40 side, I just patted a matte eyeshadow onto my brow bone, as I will be using shimmers on the rest of the lids, and then into the Del Mar Vol.II eyeshadow palette for this look. And then using a pencil brush, again by Blank Canvas, I went into the very bright yellow colour, which is matte, and it's called Ibiza Rocks, and applied this to the inner corners of my eyes, both on top and bottom, either side of my tear duct. Next, I went into Zoola, which is a very shimmery golden shade, and applied this using that E40 brush again, which is great for packing on colour. I applied a little bit more of the Ibiza Rocks just to make sure none was lost in the blending, and then going into Pearl, which is a really shimmery, very light kind of whitey gold shade. I applied this to the other side of the bright yellow. And then to darken up my crease, I went into Siesta, which is a really lovely, deep, intense brown. Using a pointed crease brush, I start to apply this into the crease, onto the outer corner, and lightly back and forth over the yellow as well. Next, I picked up the shade Ushuaie with a regular blending brush and used this just to buff out the darker Siesta and make it a little bit more seamless and soft going up towards the highlight. I intensified the matte yellow again on the inner corner, this time above the crease line, using that same pencil brush just to make it pop a little bit more, and then went into a gorgeous peachy colour with very subtle sparkle called San Antonio and applied this underneath my lower lash line from the outer corner right back into the inner corner. Next, using a flat detail brush, I picked up some more of the dark brown, the dark matte brown called Siesta, and pressed this lightly into the lower lash line right up against the lash bed to add a little bit more definition along the lower lash line. For my waterline, I wanted to keep it quite bright, so I went into another sleek makeup product. This is one of their Oh La La liners, and it's in the colour Bullion number 290, which is a gold shade. It does come out quite well, but you need to go back and forth over the lash line quite a lot if you are in any way wet. And then I went in with black liquid eyeliner, this is by Wet n Wild, and kept the shape on the top lash line fairly classic. I just wanted a small wing and without allowing it to get too thick or too long. And I also applied a small little wing coming out from the bottom liner as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting. I applied a little bit more of that peach colour underneath the lower lash line, bringing it out past the wing, and then using a small angled liner brush, I applied some more of the bright yellow in between the two eyeliners, or the two wings, whatever you want to call them, and just again to make it a little bit more interesting and slightly more party friendly. Then going in with a volumizing mascara, I applied plenty of this to both my top and bottom lashes. Then once the eyes were finished and the foundation touched up and concealer applied where needed, I applied a little bit of MAC's Mineralize SkinFinish Natural all over the face just to set everything in place. Then used the NYX Taupe Blush, or Taupe Blush, to add a little bit of contour to the side of my face as well as down along the sides of my nose. And because I didn't want to pick up any of the darkest colour in this bronzing block by Sleek Makeup, I used a tapered cheek brush. This is by Blank Canvas as well, and I used the tip of this to pick up some of the pink and the lighter brown shades and used this as a blusher above the Taupe Blush, which I used as contour. This is a great cheek brush, and again, all the brushes and everything I used will be listed below, so don't worry about that. Then using that same flat detail brush from earlier on, I used this to apply some brow powder to my brows, and also used this same brush just to apply some wax as well once the brows were filled in to keep the hairs in place. Then for my lips, I went in with MAC's Subculture Lip Pencil, which is a very nude neutral lip pencil. I used this to fill in the body of my lips first and then slow down to outline my lips, and I did overline my top lip just to give it a fuller looking shape. And then went in with Utopia, which is by Buff Makeup, which is a gorgeous, very light coral lipstick. Applied this over the Subculture to finish the look. So I really hope you enjoyed this, guys, and apologies for not being able to list the products throughout the video. I actually ran out of time in editing, so I had to just fill them in below the video, so hope that will do ease. If you missed my last video, you can click the link in the video or just follow the link below if you're watching on a mobile device, and also feel free to subscribe as well. I will be uploading at least 3 times a week, usually 4, so there's plenty of more content to come. Thanks a million for watching, guys. Slán.